All right, so right here in our garden, we have a few different hibiscus plants all together growing beautifully, few different beautiful colors, and we have a few really tall ones in there. The branches are reaching about 7 feet tall right now, and they're getting stringy. So Jimmy's gonna cut one of them and move it to a different side of our garden.
Yep.
And this one is really pretty, as you can see right here.
Yeah, there's actually a bloom on it right here.
Yep, deep yellow.
This plant actually came from a cutting that I didn't think was going to do too good, that kind of froze back, and then after it started growing, it branched out in about 20 different directions. But all this is one hibiscus. Like she was saying, we have about 4 or 5 of them here in the garden. And these branches that are coming in here, I don't know if you can see them over the banana trees, but way up in here, these are getting kind of tall. And you can see it's forked off where I cut it last, and it forked off 3 or 4 ways down there where I cut it. And propagating a hibiscus is actually very easy to do. Just like a lot of the other plants that you cut, you're just working with a cutting. I could actually make this 1, 2, 3 if I wanted, different plants, but I'm just gonna go with one right about here. And right here where I cut this little guy here is gonna probably be a branch. This little piece here that has a little leaf on it is probably gonna be a branch. And this one's already forking out pretty good. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tops on this one. So I'm gonna leave it alone. This one's just one tall one. Let me get another piece here, because sometimes it's good to have a couple growing by each other. And we got a bunch in here to choose from. There's another piece. And this guy's getting way too long. I'm sorry, I'm reaching way in there. Nope, it's all the same exact plant. Yep, if you look where I'm pulling from down here, guys, you'll see that this entire bush here, can you see down in here? This entire bush here is all one plant. And this one right behind it is another plant. There's another one right behind it. We have a couple over here, another over there. Hibiscus are awesome for just kind of hiding in the middle of gardens, and a lot of people don't know that. They use them as centerpieces, and they're great as accent plants as well. Let me show you where Luiza decided we were going to put it. Right over in this area.
So I was thinking about right there by the walkway. What do you
Okay.
think?
Yeah, that looks like a nice spot.
Yeah, and right on this side right here where we have tons of reds and greens, I think that would be a nice touch to the garden right there.
Add a little color there.
Yeah.
All right, let's start with this one right here. We're doing 1 or 2 here.
We can do, what do you think, 2?
Yep, sounds like a plan to
Yeah, so
me.
we can differentiate.
And I'll show you guys some of the other stuff that we have here. This right here is a cutting as well. This is a hibiscus that I stuck in the ground probably about 4 or 5 months ago, and it's got kind of tall. Probably needs to be cut back a little bit. This one here that you see sneaking out in here, that's another cutting that I put in. It's already branching out a few different directions. It's bloomed already as well. That's a red one. So for this, we're gonna pull some of these leaves off. And you don't really have to go overboard on these either, because they're also a pretty hardy plant. I'm gonna scrape that bark off. I'm gonna take off about 3 or 4 inches of it, just to make sure that it's real easy for those roots to come through. And I already know this soil because it's all in here. I put it in here myself. It's good garden soil, it's nice and soft. Here's a purple petunia. I have a canna lily here. We have coleus, tea plants, crotons, dracaenas. We got all kinds of things, and these are all cuttings. This is just around me right here. Here's some more tea plants, different varieties. We have different types of palm trees, all kinds of cool things in here, and everything is from cuttings that we've done on our own. I'm gonna put this right here because its roots can have plenty of room to expand around these coleus, because coleus roots do not run deep. We're gonna do the same thing with this one. We're gonna pull off a bunch of leaves. Probably this leaf as well. And I'm just gonna get to scraping that off. I'm just using the sharp side of this, and you can use anything, a knife, whatever, any pruning shears that you would use in the garden. You can see this is a pretty thick, heavy-duty bark that these guys have on them for a flower. because they do grow into trees like you've seen growing in our garden. It was about 7 foot tall. I can take these, I can twist them together, I can do all kinds of stuff, and they'll grow just fine. What I like to do is I like to put them a decent distance apart, but I'm going to keep these kind of close together just because of what's growing around it. I'll put this one, I'm going to put this one right in here. Tuck it in there a little bit. And those guys will start growing out of there and add some nice color. That's a good location, Luiza.
Oh yeah, that's a good spot there. When the flowers start blooming, it's gonna be pretty there.
Oh yeah. I don't know if anything will happen with this or not, but you never know. Let's see. All right, we got one more to do. I'll go ahead and scrape this one now. Those CMs are flying all over my face. And this one we'll just put there by itself. And when we want these bushier, all we have to do to get these bushier is just top them. Boom! When you top them, it's going to sprout out in at least 2 different directions. Usually 3 or 4 or 5 with hibiscus. You know, they'll start sprouting out everywhere just depending on how much room they have and how much light they have. They like a lot of light, and they also like a lot of water. That's why they do good here in Florida where it's raining about every day. And get these and throw those in the ground. Lawn's getting cut tomorrow. Should have did this video tomorrow. Check this out right over here. All right, right in here I have a few things that it can grow up around. We have a papaya here, we have dumb cane, heliconias, coleus, corn plants, and this is just going to be right beside this walkway. This might make it a little tight in here, so I'm actually going to push it a little further in. I want it to have good sun too. Probably right about here. Find a nice soft piece of soil. Make sure in an area where it's going to have some decent sun. And from there, that thing should start growing just fine. And look at what else I have over here. This is another cutting. This right here was one we put in over a year ago. This is another hibiscus. It's growing pretty good in here. It's not blooming right now. And that's all it really takes to propagate a hibiscus. And you like where this one is, Luiza?
Oh my gosh,
It's
I
like a
love
good
it.
spot.
Yes, I can't wait to see it bloom. It's gonna be all kinds of different colors.
Heck yeah, you have a lot of color in there. And again, you just clip the hibiscus. Use this one as an example. You just clip it here, you can clip it here, you can clip it here, and you just shave that bark off, stick it in the ground in an area with good soil. It's gonna sprout roots and it's gonna grow as long as you water it well and it has good sun, because hibiscus do like a lot of sun. These get a ton of sun in the morning and most of the day. At the end of the day, it starts to get a little bit of blockage when it gets down here to this 6, 7 o'clock time, but get an area where your plants can get a lot of sun. The hibiscus, I should say, can get a lot of sun and they're gonna grow good. Any other tips you may want to give them on it? Or?
Oh, for sure. Definitely water them a lot because they love water every day. And they'll grow nice and big for you guys.
Heck yeah. All right, well, hopefully you learned something. If you have any questions, just leave us a comment down below. We'll see you next time.